The feeling for Manchester United in this country is something else. We love United.
They're just a positive football team, you know, but that's why I have so much support.
Well, the one thing with Manchester United, it unites people, full stop.
Any girl in Cork, if she knows what she's doing, she'll support Man United.
When they've won the FA Cup, or when they've won the league, or where they've won the European Cup, there's always been Irishmen in the team.
It's just a passion that's there and always has been there, probably always will be there.
Collins' header that was. Comes the best. And it's there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
64 stars, including 6 captains from Carey to Keane. Manchester United and the Emerald Isle has always been inextricably linked. The greats, and we're talking greats. The brave, the brash, the brilliant, the devilish Reds. There's always been an Irishman at the heart of Manchester United, and Manchester United in the hearts of the Irish.
It's hard to say what the bondage is, you know. You could go into historical and you could say, does it go back to 1948 and Johnny Carey, the FA Cup winning captain? Does it go into the 60s, you know, when Georgie came there and it was a Beatlemania and maybe he was the first pop star footballer? Or do you go into the 70s and look at Sammy McIlroy right up until the 80s and we have Norman Whiteside, and then into the 90s there's Keno, and the fact that when it started off there were Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway team, and probably a lot of Irish immigrants in Manchester supported the team and ended up playing for the team.
The Irish connection with Manchester itself begins largely with the immigration of Irish people in the early 19th century during the Industrial Revolution. If we look at the 1841 population census, something like 12% of the population of Manchester was Irish-born. That's before the Great Famine. 1851, after the Great Famine, it rises to about 15%. There's a lot of job opportunities for Irish people in construction work, canal building, later railway building. They have to live near to their work. They've got to live near to where the building sites are, to where the railways are being constructed. You would get people, Irish people living around that Newton Heath area who might go and watch their local club.
The connection with United and Ireland actually goes back as far as Newton Heath. Before Manchester United was formed, they had an Irish player by the name of John Payton, who was a forward. The next notable Irishman would have been a player by the name of Mickey Hamill, who actually signed for United from what was then a record fee of £175. In the promotion year of 1938, there were 3 Irishmen who actually played in the team. Harry Baird, who was a top goal scorer. There was a goalkeeper by the name of Tommy Breen, who actually represented both Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. And that was the start of the career of the great Johnny Carey.
Carey was the first great post-war Dubliner who started the trail from Dunleary across the sea to stardom. The first discovery of Billy Behan, Matt Busby's South of Ireland talent spotter. Carey was a natural leader of men, Matt Busby's first captain.
Everybody in Ireland knew how good a player Johnny Carey was. So I remember thinking when I was at home in Cork as a little boy of maybe 12 or 13, it'd be lovely one day to play for Man United and to be something like Johnny Carey. So he was my idol.
The thing about Johnny Carey was he was such a gentleman. That's what seems to come over. Captain of the team, not only captain of United, captain of Ireland, captain of Great Britain. Very, very respected throughout the whole game.
And what does it feel like to be captain of a cup-winning side? Well, I can't think of a better way to finish than by asking Johnny Carey to tell you himself.
I'm very pleased to have been taking this cup back to Manchester again after a period of 40 years.
Johnny Carey, who was the Republic of Ireland player and at that time was an immense player. Actually, he played in every position in the club. But he was an inside forward and I converted him to a full-back. And, of course, from there, he was immense, and not only that, he was a great help to me and a great captain.
We were all proud of him. He was a Dublin lad, Irish to boot, and he done us proud. And, you know, Home Farm Football Club was very proud of him.
Liam Whelan's first game in a Manchester United shirt came in the 1953 FA Youth Cup final. He was a teenager, flown in especially. He was also the big attraction when United played their first ever competitive game in Ireland against Shamrock Rovers, scoring twice in the European Cup.
I thought he was a very great header of the ball for his day, you know, which was, as a kid, you didn't realise how intelligent of a player he was and how fast he was with the heading on the ball and his passing.
Throws it out to Whelan. Whelan dropping deep to get the ball. No one's moving for him. He's just holding it, And a very good pass indeed, right from the outside right position. It's very bringing it in quickly to Evans, the Arsenal fullback and left fullback. He's pulled it back. Oh, and he's too late.
After the interval, Manchester really start getting down to work. Left winger Pegg has the ball. He centres, it bounces off Taylor, and Whelan makes sure of it.
Sadly, as Liam Whelan was undoubtedly on the verge of greatness, he was amongst those that tragically lost their lives in the Munich air disaster.
On the fringe of a Munich airport lies the wreckage of an airliner, still smouldering from a crash in which 21 people were killed. Tragedy enough at any time. But in that plane were a group of young men who were almost the personal friends of millions. Manchester United, the finest soccer team Britain has produced since the war.
Well, the whole of Ireland, I think the whole of the world was shocked. I remember standing just across the road there when this cortege come down from Dublin Airport and it all lit up. First time I seen a hearse with a coffin lit up in a cold, wintry day as a child. And yes, the whole country was shocked for the whole Manchester United team.
For the first game after the disaster, another young Irishman was introduced.
Billy Foulkes wins the toss for Manchester United against Sheffield Wednesday. And it's the most dramatic game Busby's Babes have ever played. Wednesday and the striped shirts kick off. Less than a fortnight after the Munich air crash, the Babes are fielding a scratch side for a fifth-round FA Cup tie. And apart from Foulkes himself, the only member of the original team is goalie Harry Gregg. Brennan takes a corner, and it's in! Mark Pearson's shot rebounds, but Seamus Brennan's there to land a beauty. 20-year-old Brennan was only included a few hours before the match. His first big game ever, and he scored 2 goals.
A goal-scoring start for a player who is to become a model of consistency. Brennan's love of playing for the club spanned 3 decades.
Of all the people at Old Trafford in my time and our time, I think Shea was probably the most popular person in the dressing room. Nobody could ever say anything. He was such a modest, lovely guy and treated life as a bit of fun. And he lived his life like that, and an exceptional person.
Brennan's partner at full-back was Tony Dunn. No Irishman's played more games for United.
Tony was a smashing guy, possibly the best left-back that ever left Ireland. Definitely the fastest. Well, it was a great sense of pride and honour that he came from our club to United, and as far as I can remember, he practically walked straight into the first side.
Well, Tony Dunn is a very fast defender. That is Tony Dunn, David Sadler, Shea Brennan, born in Manchester but plays for Ireland, and Eusebio on his right, number 10.
Busby's legendary European Cup winning team will be remembered for Charlton and Best, but success was built on defence. Brennan on the right, Dunn a star on the left. Ask Eusebio.
Now, just 5 minutes then as Eusebio is beaten by Dunn. Charlton in the middle, so too is Aston. Charlton, another! He's got another! 9 minutes gone, and this must be it now.
Leading the legendary lap of honour, Shea Brennan, and keeping a grip of the trophy as he did the Benfica stars, Tony Dunn.
Paddy Roche, he was the centre forward. when he was a schoolboy, and one day the team had no goalkeeper or got injured, and he had to go in, and he ended up being a goalkeeper. And then the ironic part of it was he was transferred to Manchester United when Tommy Doherty was the manager.
It was funny really, because I was working as a driver then in my brother's motor factories in Dublin, and the base was in Bray, County Wicklow. And I got out to Bray in County Wicklow and walked in the door. One of the lads shouted to me, he says, "You better get into the Gresham Hotel in Dublin." He says, "You're signing for Manchester United." I said, "I don't think so." And I said, yeah, it's true. So that was it.
2 clean sheets in his first 2 games at Old Trafford. Paddy was off to a flyer, but errors in televised high-profile matches shattered his confidence.
And Paddy Roach is finding life at the top pretty hard.
I got off to a bad start, and it's very difficult, as the goalkeepers are finding it now. You make one mistake early on in your games, it's very, very hard. You've got to be a really special type of person to put it out of your mind with the amount of pressure that's on you. I obviously would have liked my career to have gone a bit better, but I played professionally for 18 years, so it can't be that bad. But I would have loved to have really made it to the top of United. It wasn't to be.
Pat Rice. Here's Ricks on the far side. Getting beyond to Sunderland. Oh, tipped away by Roach. Again, the making of Graham Ricks. Shannon quickly for Keegan. Oh, a word. And a good save again by Roach.
The best memory I have is after we beat Liverpool, and I didn't play, unfortunately. We played 6 times at Wembley when I was there, and I was on the bench each time. But my outstanding memory is a young Steve Coppell, 1 o'clock in the morning, with the cup, embracing the cup, falling asleep, slightly inebriated, after we beat Liverpool in the cup final. That's a lovely memory.
In the 70s, United went all Bohemian. 3 players signed from the same Cabra club. Mick Martin set in the trend. Jerry Daly scuttled his way to stardom. And following him, Ashley Grimes winged in.
They were loved players here. They were loved, and everybody was delighted for them. Go to Manchester United, every boy's dream. Every boy's dream. Like Roy, the Rover stuff. Eire was a fabulous little player. His skill with the ball he was an exceptional player.
Houston. The overhead by Carey, and a great goal by Daly! What a brilliant goal! A lovely ball from Will Carey to Hill. Daly! Beautifully built goal! And it'll be Jerry Daly to take the penalty for Manchester United. He's already put 2 home this season, 2 penalties. And it's a perfect penalty. 1-0 to United, and their supporters really enjoying the long journey down now.
Jerry, the way you've been taking penalties this season, it doesn't look as though it's possible to miss them. So what I want you to do is we'll set 3 up here, and we'd like to just have a look at the Daly technique. 3 out of 3. I'll applaud you for that.
I see no reason why you should hit the ball hard. I think you should just place it, you know.
There goes Daly. Just, only just. But it's good enough, it's 1-1. Daly to try again. Nice little flick from Pearson, he's trying again. And Pearson, and now Daly! 2-0! They couldn't keep him out forever. Coppell to take on Frank Gray. And Eddie Gray. And Nichols' cross headed away by McQueen. Back in brilliantly by Daly.
Ashley was a gifted player. He had a marvellous left foot, marvellous right foot as well.
I'd been thrown down as a lad when I was at United, and over those years before I joined Bohemians, I think Billy had kept on top, and he kept interested in how I was doing. And eventually, when I went to Bohemians and got into the first team, it was the opportunity to come to Manchester United, and there was no turning back. I didn't think twice about it.
McIlroy was reading the move. There's Grimes.
3 players left of him for United, now 4. Oh, and he's got it! Well, he'll celebrate that for some time.
McIlroy. Carey ran into Tyson, then McIlroy's cross. Grimes!
Did it usually bounce off your perm?
That wasn't a perm, that was natural curls. Kevin Keegan's was a perm. There was a big difference between Keegan's and mine.
Now Robson. And here's Moses. And it's reaching Grimes. Manchester United lead. Ashley Grimes.
I think Billy Bean was an exceptional scout. I think he was a good spotter of talent. And I think he really created the bond between United and Bohemians, and probably United and the teams around Dublin.
I must admit, I've got to give all the credit there to Billy Bean, who was at the time was the chief scout for Manchester United in Dublin, or in the south of Ireland really. And it was while I was playing with Pegasus, which is a postgraduate team of UCD. But to be honest with you, at that time, my main concentration at the time was on Gaelic football and not soccer. So I didn't think much would come of it.
Kevin Moran, not a Kerry man has touched the ball yet, amazingly. Bernard Logan, Moran, and his shot has gone wide.
Kevin was regarded as one of Ireland's 3 greatest ever footballers, Gaelic that is. Mind you, he was up there with the best in the English game.
One for Blissett to chase. Moran with him, Jenkins going far post. Moran got in the tackle for the corner.
In from Robson. And that's Stapleton. And that's Moran. And United go in front.
Coming from Gaelic football, I had a lot to learn as well, and especially in the early years of, of protecting myself, and had to go up. It's only when you see players now, centre-backs going up as well, they go up a little bit more with their elbows, with centre-forwards as well. And I suppose in some ways, because of the position I played in as a centre-back, I was quite small.
Kevin Moran in the wars again.
Kevin will always be remembered for his bravery and record number of stitches. And alas, another notorious record, the Wembley red card.
Hughes. Olsen. Seeing what can pop up on the other side for him. McGrath. Oh, intercepted by Reid. And brought down with a desperate challenge by Kevin Moran. Into the book. Suddenly Everton looked to have 3 up, and only 1 United player was back. It was Kevin Moran, and it was a desperate challenge there on Peter Reid. And that produced the booking. Oh, he sent him off. He sent Moran off. I don't think it's any good him arguing, but Moran's been sent off.
At the end of the day, the key thing for me was that United won the game. Now, if we'd lost the game, I could have well looked back on that and blamed myself because I got sent off. But fortunately, we won it, so I felt no recriminations towards myself in any way. And I must admit, I joined in the celebrations as if I'd never been sent off and it was no different from any other player.
He feels as close to tears as anybody can without actually showing them.
I must admit there was a great outpouring of sympathy for me, and that was very much manifested in the homecoming. We had a great reception in the town square, and I had a fantastic reception from the crowd. And in some ways I look back on that and I think, Norman Whiteside scored possibly one of the greatest goals at Wembley, and almost the following day was nearly a lot overshadowed by Kevin Moran being sent off, really, But no, I must admit, it was great to have won.
Man United were always the favourite club in Dublin, certainly where I came from. I went over straight from school and had a trial there. Ironically, I was at United first on trial, but they didn't commit themselves. They given me an apprenticeship, so I went to Arsenal. My contract was up and I was renegotiating with the club. And I got a phone call to say that Ron Atkinson wanted to speak to me, which we was quite entitled to. The chance to come to my boyhood club, as well as the opportunity that was there for me. Taking the whole package in, it was a better deal for me, and I went to Manchester United.
Birtles, good possession here by Manchester United. And put to the defence as
Stapleton puts them into the lead.
Now Whiteside. Away from Cowans, this is Stapleton. What a beautiful goal by Frank Stapleton.
Stapleton. As Whiteside's header, Brian Robson is underneath it. And he's put Stapleton away. What a brilliant finish by Frank Stapleton.
Nice play here. McQueen's popped into the penalty area too. Here's Stapleton. Good shot! Oh, great effort.
Stapleton! And he beats Kevin Bond, he got in front of him. And the ball just beat the left hand of Joe Corrigan.
Robson. Stapleton on his way. Brilliant goal! And Stapleton was arriving there, and my word, that's a good header. A classic Frank Stapleton goal.
I remember Paul being a great centre-half and one of the best centre-halves that's ever come to League of Ireland football. Well, he had everything a centre-half would have. He had the height, he had the ability, he had the brain, he had a great pass for a ball. And Paul McGrath only played one season here in this club. At the end of that season, he went away to Manchester United.
Hogg already forward, and Moran appearing too in the area. And here's Moran. Punched by the goalkeepers, out of his ground, and McGrath gets his first goal for United.
Big Paul, I've got to say, brilliant centre-half. I mean, he was so, even if he was caught out of position, which wasn't very often, he had the ability, the pace to get back at people. Just when you thought they were going to score, he could always just get his legs in the way or hook it out. He was an athlete, Big Paul, absolutely, just cruised, you know.
Whiteside. McGrath saw it early. Good pace, good control. Or was it? Yes, it was. It was bouncing horribly for him. And Ron Atkinson on his feet on the touchline as he knows his side have gone through.
There's only one Paul McGrath, that was all. You could have 11 players. There's only one Paul McGrath. That's all.
There's a lot more than one supporters club, over 70 in Ireland.
People just see the football they play, just follow it.
There's no other team as good as them. And there's been a lot of Irish players playing for United as well.
I got a small present from my late father when I was 7 years of age for Man United, and I've been following them ever since.
Neil was named after Neil Webb. And Victoria here is just, she's named after Victory, aren't you, Victoria? It worked out nicely.
They're simply the best.
And so to the north, Belfast, a city with a history of deep divides. But football has long united people here, especially at one unique Falls Road venue. A real landmark in the community, which became the first themed Manchester United bar in the area.
We actually have guys who come in who are from the other side of the community. And during big matches like the likes of Liverpool, we would have Liverpool men in, Spurs men in. As you can see, if you look around the bar at the minute, you see a different types of shirts and things, but we don't care, and it's just a game, it's football, and at the end of the day, it's football, and that's what we care about.
Anybody can come into this bar, it's just, I mean, it's a football bar, it's about Man United supporters, you know, it's not, there's no religion in football, you know, it's just Manchester United. I started supporting United roughly when I was about 10. It was actually an old thing between the brother. He started supporting Liverpool, so I had to be against him, you know, so from about 10 years of age. When I was about 7 years of age, my brother, he gave me a poster of Stevie Coppell, and from then on, you know, I remember putting the poster up, and ever since then I've just been United mad, you know.
Football's original pin-up boy, George Best, was the most famous discovery of Busby's Man in the North. Bob Bishop, who sent talented players from Northern Ireland over the sea for 4 decades.
Bob was a legend, without a question of doubt. You should see him cap and see him coat, and he was a real character. He must have smoked 100 cigarettes a day, you know. But there was, once he was at the game, everybody knew. I mean, especially the kids playing. I'm sure they would try to do their best when he was there.
The trailblazing post-war Northern Ireland international was Jackie Blanchflower, an early Busby babe, who famously kept goal in the 1957 FA Cup final when Ray Wood was injured. Jackie was a footballing artist whose career was sadly cut short by the Munich disaster. Harry Gregg was a record signing for a goalkeeper from Doncaster.
I joined it as a top player myself, but I'd moved into the Hollywood of football. They were a very, very young side, and they were free spirits from my point of view, the way they played, and the public attached themselves to them. But then Munich happened. As everything was in blackness, and I couldn't understand this, and I thought I was dead. And I thought, well, I must be in hell because everything's black. I heard a child cry inside what was left of the aircraft, and I think this brought me to my senses.
Harry was hailed as a reluctant hero after helping to rescue a mother and child from the wrecked plane. On the field, he was renowned for his shovel-sized hands.
Now it's a lovely one. Back now to Gilzine. And Saul. Oh, a fine save by Gray. Brilliant goalkeeping. Gilzine. That's the way to do it. And almost catching Gregg by surprise.
Batovich. And a wonderful save by Gregg. A magnificent save.
George Best at his brilliant best.
The rare green spaces of the Craigie Road estate in East Belfast. George Best's Field of Dreams.
The talent he had was unbelievable. He always would. You would always worry, was he going to get strong enough? Was he going to get tall enough? He'd stand in the building. Special.
When I played in the A and B teams at the Cliff, I always scored lots of goals. And I was doing basically the same things that I'd been doing when I was kicking the ball around the streets of Belfast. And just going out and enjoying myself.
Oh, yes. I remember when I first came to the club, seeing George playing in a youth match at Old Trafford and going to Jack Crompton after the game. And I said, I can't believe that young lad, George Best. Am I saying that? Is he as good as that? And Jack just looked at me and laughed and says, yes, Pat, but we all know about it, but nobody's saying anything about him.
I believe I was born with something that, you know, a lot of people work for years and years and never achieve. I was very fortunate. I worked hard at improving certain aspects. But I was born with a gift, so I tried to use it to the best of my ability.
Best with McCready, and McCready's made a catch, and it's a magnificent goal. Best, what a magnificent goal.
Charlton to Best. Third and Law in the middle. Charlton lurking on the penalty area. There's Law, and it's 3-0. Beautiful goal by Law. And Manchester United just carving this Arsenal team apart. Here comes Best again. What a player this boy is. He's got another. What a player.
Best. And Law! Well, Law got the touch or whether Best scored it, I think Best.
Burns making a run. Now Hurd. Good dummy, has Best up in front of him. This is Best. Wriggling out space. What a fine save! What a fine shot. Georgie Best.
And he's weaving and dribbling over to the far side. He's weaving and dribbling back. And he came so close to me, and I said, George, you greedy little... What a fantastic goal that was, George. Because instantly, as soon as I said that, he smashed the ball into the top corner, and I'm thinking, well, what am I calling him for, you know?
Best. Styles. Trying to work a position. Best. Yes, it's there.
Kincaid to George Best. Fitzpatrick. Best going in on it. Best! Oh, beautifully taken by Best! What a magnificent goal by Best!
I think he was one of the first players that ever wore a beard in the football field. And I remember an official of the club coming and saying, "Mark, when are you going to get up for it to take off his beard?" I says, "Look, if you can guarantee me that if he takes his beard off, he'll be a better player, he'll have it taken off tomorrow." So that was George.
The aerial ball skills, well read by Fitzpatrick. Charlton taking over, Best breaking, and in a great position to break too. This looks bad. What a great goal, George Best, and referee John Gow clapping his hands together and saying, well done too.
Players are losing this ball in the sun, but it was Best who picked up that kid flick. Driven wide. Yes!
Charlton.
Best. George Best made it look so easy, doing a double shuffle that Muhammad Ali would have been very proud of. Best.
Greenoff. West. Nice dummy and shot, yes!
Alas, the drop of the shoulder and the goal against Coventry was his last. In 1974, at the age of just 27, George drove away from Old Trafford for good. Meanwhile, another Belfast boy, barely 17, was being fast-tracked.
I was absolutely, gutted that I wasn't in the reserve side. Just told the report, 11 o'clock at Old Trafford, to travel to Main Road, not knowing I was going to actually play, till Frank O'Farrell told me at 11 o'clock the next morning. It was just a shock and a surprise, and to be fair to the rest of the team, the likes of George Best and Bobby Charlton, I just didn't make any fuss at all. Whether tea and toast, whatever, and just went to the game.
Sam McIlroy, a boy from Belfast, only 3 months past his 17th birthday, and getting his chance today because Denis Law is unfit.
Oh, I'll never forget it. 63,000 people there when I ran out. I've never heard a roar like it in my life.
McIlroy to Best. The crowd not liking it because they think that he got knee booked. Kids cross, O'Neill, Best, and McIlroy!
The feeling I had then was marvellous. I could have actually ran out of the ground. I felt that great, 63,000, what a roar. And to score the first goal, tremendous.
That run of Gowling's and the header from Law seemed to have recharged their attack, and in fact there was a foul there, or handball I should say, in fact, by Beale, which is why United have got the free kick, to be taken by Charlton. Still loose, McIlroy the scorer. Sammy McIlroy, 17 years of age, scored on his First Division debut last week, and now he scores on his home debut.
Richards trying to run through people and not succeeding. Charlton, a good ball for McIlroy. McIlroy's made himself some space, and he's scored a great goal! Jerry Daly, McIlroy!
Coppell, oh, he's round his man. Good low ball, yes!
Sammy had been an FA Cup winner in 1977 with United. Little did he know, as he took to the turf 2 years later, what a dramatic finale he was about to set up.
Well, the United fans wanted him to get on with it, and that wasn't a very good ball by him. But here's Koppel, and there's McIlroy getting in there. Can he finish it off? Yes, he can! 2 goals in a minute, and suddenly United are back in it. What an amazing turnabout. And the scenes on the 2 benches, well, I've never known. The despair on the face of Don Howe and Terry Neal. But wait a moment, it's there by Sunderland, and they're back in the lead again, and they're off the bench once more. What an amazing cup final.
Well, I thought it was extra time, definitely, anyway, and we've came back so many times in the season to do this. I must have fancied our chances, but then to go away and score a goal.
Absolute sickener.
Oh, no doubt about it, yeah. Definitely.
Sammy was concerned when Brian Robson came bristling in that there'd be too many midfielders to perm from.
There was a lot of speculation as to who was going to make way. There was Ray Wilkins going to make way, myself was going to make way. So, you know, we went into that game wanting to do well, the both of us, and actually I scored a hat-trick. My first hat-trick for Manchester United, and we win 5. Actually, Gary Birtle scored that day as well, so everything went well.
Birtles allowed to turn. Gallagher getting in the way of Wilkins' attempt to thread it back to Birtles. And then presented here for McIlroy again, who makes the most of it. And the referee shows that he is in charge. And the free kick will be taken by McIlroy, who scores. And that will lead, surely, to protests from Wolves. Birtles, the touch was short. So much of Manchester United's work has been this afternoon. And Sammy McIlroy produces a hat-trick in superb style.
Sammy's club and international colleague was Jimmy Nicholl, the fullback with a ferocious shot.
Now Nicholl coming forward. And trying a shot, and it's a goal! Jimmy Nicholl, from all of 35 yards, took Corrigan absolutely by surprise. Hughes is forward. Highway running at Nicholl. Fresh legs here, but Nicholl stays with him well. Punched out, Nicholl! Good looking across the far post.
Well, that was unbelievable. That very nearly was an equaliser. Tommy Hutchison floats this one deep to the far post. Gary Bailey under pressure. And on the line, Jimmy Nicholl saves the situation.
Right through and knocked away, and Nicholl. What a goal! That fairly tore into the net.
Mariner immediately coming back to get cover against the height of McQueen. And McQueen gets it nonetheless. There's a miss kick. Butcher still not clear. And Jimmy Nicholl has made it 2-1 with his left foot.
He was the best schoolboy I ever seen in my life. I never seen anybody better than him. I mean, he was a man when he was 13.
I was very single-minded, very stubborn in my approach to the game, as you know. And even when I came across, I used to fly over on a Friday night, play for the juniors on a Saturday, and fly back home again on a Sunday. And I just had this single-mindedness and sort of tunnel vision of wanting to be a footballer, regardless of anybody next to me, what they were going to do.
Norman's name was in the papers as most of his school pals were still delivering them, becoming one of United's youngest ever players.
But an interesting choice at substitute today, 16 years old Norman Whiteside, who will be in the FA Youth Cup final on Monday night against Watford, and who was discovered by Bob Bishop, the same Belfast scout who first spotted George Best.
It was obviously Ron Atkinson put me in the United team at 16, and Billy Bingham to the World Cup shortly afterwards. So they had faith in me, but I also had, like I say, faith in my own ability, so I didn't really feel the pressure. I thought to myself, well, let them worry about me. You know, I mean, I didn't care who I played against. If it was Brazil or Liverpool or anyone, I just went out and played the Norman Whiteside way. Some people liked it, some people didn't.
What a fine finish.
Robson, United finding room in which to manoeuvre in midfield. This is Moran, a beautifully delivered header for Whiteside. This one does count.
But now Koppel, Whiteside far side, this is the best chance of the match and it's made to count.
Looks for Whiteside. Took it down beautifully, turned away from Hansen. Whiteside! What a fantastic goal by the 17-year-old after 12 minutes play. Orbiston, oh, Grimes is onside and so is Whiteside here. Oh, I say! It's amazing! It's absolutely fantastic what Whiteside has achieved. He's put Manchester United in front only 3 weeks after scoring at Wembley in the Milk Cup final.
Well, I always had the will to win, and I used to adore playing on the big stages, and I had this picture in my head mentally the night before any big game like that, and a lot of the time these pictures came true.
Sheer delight for Manchester United and Norman Whiteside, the youngest player ever to score in an FA Cup final. Gone past Bracewell, Whiteside's onside. Strachan in the middle, Olsen up as well. The goal! Whiteside! That's incredible! How on earth did he get that past Southall?
Well, from what I remember, when Alex arrived, I was injured the morning he first came in, and under Alex Ferguson, I had a lot of injuries, and it was hard to get over because there's nothing more depressing for a professional footballer to be injured for a long period of time. And obviously, you know, Alex knew, I mean, what I was capable of, but my injuries didn't let me sort of come to the forefront. I wouldn't change anything. I've had 10 glorious years and happy memories to look back over.
McGrath. It breaks for Robson. They've got a second bite at it. Whiteside.
Fergie's famous class of '92 also boasted a Belfast boy, Keith Gillespie.
First thing that really came to my mind was there's so much pace. He could catch pigeons, a boy, you know, very quick, smart. I remember his teams winning 8 and 9-0, and he set up 7 of them.
Keith Gillespie.
And still. Oh! A goal of real class.
To this day, the Belfast connection remains. Johnny Evans emerging from the prolific United youth system, the no-nonsense centre-half has become a key player.
Krasic. Johnny Evans won the ball wonderfully well. Johnny Evans has to get a touch to that.
Man who brings the Irish accent to the United changing room. His tough, resilient approach to defending has already brought him success at the highest level of the game. Will no doubt continue in the years ahead. Carrickfergus, a quiet spot north of Belfast, famous for its castle, scenic coastline, and in the treble season renowned for its balmy backing of United, thanks to Big Lily.
Lily is about 100 foot by 60 or thereabouts. She's more than a flag. She's actually taken on the mantle of a personality. I mean, I meet people every match I go to. There's somebody saying, "Where's Lily?" Or even in my own hometown says, "How's Lily doing?" You know, we were lucky enough to get her into Wembley. We were coming in the turnstiles. One of the security guys said, "You can only bring a flag the width of your arms in." We told him all sorts of lies, and eventually he let us in with it. And she came out during the cup final. In Barcelona, as I say, I was very proud that Lily was there, but that night was just amazing.
Lily has even appeared at Madrid's training ground. The top bosses in Madrid weren't too pleased with that because Anelka just returned to train that day, and the press were more interested in Lily. But it weighs a ton. because Keith doesn't like carrying it.
I am no celebrity. Lily is a celebrity. And Lily, I may own Lily, in fact I got her made, but Lily belongs to Manchester United supporters, match-going supporters. She's everybody's flag. She's a Manchester United flag.
Keith's obsession even spread to his pets, his dogs, Keno and Treble.
I get a lot of stick about this. I've got a couple of cats. I've got Scholesy, no offence, Paul, Andy Cole. So they love the Reds too, you know.
Are you a supporter of United?
Another player who embodied the greatest qualities of United's Irishman was Mr. Versatility himself, John O'Shea. A strong defender with no shortage of skill, the manager could rely on him to perform in practically any position.
That's the talent John has, you know, he's got good feet, and he's got a good footballing brain, and he's very level-headed.
He's absolutely beautiful balance, you see, he's a wonderful balance and two good feet.
Very impressive. Wonderful from O'Shea, through the legs of Figo.
When I was younger, I used to started off playing, I was a winger, so I've been trying to used to beating players, and luckily it's stuck with me.
Really? Dear me. Oh well. We'll get surprises all the time.
He also had a happy knack for finding the net, scoring some important goals at some vital times for the club.
It's Ronaldo who fizzes one in, and it's O'Shea, it's broken too, and John O'Shea has done it! In stoppage time, isn't that just the hallmark of champions?
Suffered a broken nose.
It's a bad back pass by Ferdinand, and O'Shea stops Keane. Well played, the stand-in keeper.
So, Alex, have you got a new name for John O'Shea?
Yeah, the cat. All the players are signing the jersey in there.
I just asked Edmund, did he have a clean sheet bonus, because I won half of it, but no, very, very happy, because the manager said when I came on in midfield to tell the defenders, make sure we keep a clean sheet. And then I saw Robbie bearing down on me. I thought he was going to try and stick it through my legs, but I just got lucky.
During his time at United, John O'Shea proved to be a big favourite with the fans and played an integral part in what proved to be a golden era in the club's history. The beautiful County Cork in the south has bred three Manchester United captains: Noel Cantwell, Denis Irwin and Roy Keane, and also a manager in Frank O'Farrell. It's a part of Ireland that's long been linked with the Reds.
I will say that the passion that I have for Manchester United is probably greater than the passion that I have for Ireland.
Support in the south of Ireland surged in the late 90s when their captain Fantastic led United to the treble.
The lads in Man United are gorgeous. I mean, we've Dwight York, Roy Keane, his shirt. We've got David Beckham, Ryan Giggs. So any girl in Cork, if she knows what she's doing, she'll support Man United.
I was born and bred United, and then when I came into my teens, I discovered George Best. So I used to have him pinned all over my bedroom.
Deep down, what is it about Manchester United and County Cork people?
Well, I think it's down to the Irish connection originally, and then down to Noel Cantwell, I suppose, as well. A Corkman, the captained United in '63.
I went to West Ham straight from Cork. So I don't suppose, unfortunately, without the crash I probably would never have gone to United, but I went to United after the crash, and that was basically to replace Roger Byrne and the rest of the lads.
Noel was right behind Matt Busby as his skipper for the 1963 FA Cup final. United beat Leicester for their first trophy after the Munich disaster.
Well, I suppose the best memory is receiving the cup from the Queen. And I tell a story occasionally that the Queen didn't come back to present it anymore because she thought it was such a bad game, but that's not true. It was quite a good game on the day. But it was nice. It was nice that. And I threw the cup up in the air, threw it up about 20 feet, and the commissioner said, "Excuse me, you don't do that with the FA Cup." I said, "Listen, I played for Ireland at cricket. If I couldn't catch the FA Cup, I wouldn't throw it up there." So it was just a little joke, but that's it.
United's first Irish manager, Franco Farrell, took over in the summer of '71.
I feel optimistic, although in recent seasons the club hasn't had the success it had before that. I feel that inevitably this club will again win honours. How soon, I can't say at the present time, obviously.
Denis Irwin running beautifully. Denis Irwin there, and the ball is still there. It's free. Denis Irwin, and he's scored. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Good header by Moore for Best. And a great goal! Moore trying his luck on the right, but with no more success. Best scooping it up for Moore.
There were some early highlights, but Franco Farrell's promising start didn't last. His departure followed a 5-0 hammering at Crystal Palace. O'Farrell given the boot screened the headlines in December 1972. At the other end of the success scale is another Cork man, Denis Irwin, who lifted the Premier League trophy an astonishing 7 times in his career. And he's regarded by Sir Alex Ferguson as, pound for pound, his greatest ever signing.
And he began his career, of course, at Leeds United, played around 80-odd games for them in 3 seasons before moving on to Oldham and then to Old Trafford.
I wasn't even playing in the Leeds side, when Billy Bremner let me go. It would have looked bleak, I could have been back playing hurling or something like that and working behind the bar or something like that. But somebody's always, you need a bit of luck, there's no doubt about that. And Oldham at the time needed a full back. Joe Royal, he was there then, he was there. And really, I think it was him and Willie Donachie that picked me up and got me going again.
We were obviously looking for a full back anyway, and so we kept monitoring Denis, watching him every game that season, almost from December right through to the end of the season. We played him in the semi-final, he was fantastic against us in the semi-final. So as soon as it was over, we did the business.
Irwin, who takes it right-footed. Oh, what a magnificent goal! Denis Irwin with a classic free kick.
Irwin, it's 3! And everything they hit ends up in the back of the net.
Irwin, number 3, looks the main candidate.
And Irwin, number 3, has got number 2 for Manchester United.
It's doing the organising. But it's Irwin who takes. Denis Irwin delivers a priceless goal for Manchester United.
A few penalties, plenty of free kicks, 1 or 2 shots from outside the box, but the thing that was different for me was the goal against Wimbledon in the Cup where we beat them 3-0. Knocked about 30 passes together, and I played a couple of 1-2s, went around a couple of players and slotted in the corner, which is unusual for me. That's a goal I'll never score again, I knew that straight away. obviously you get the more exciting players on the team, the Giggsies and the Becks and the Coleys and that. But I think if you look at any winning side, title winning side, a cup winning side, you'll always have a few players who'll battle away.
He never gets flustered. Pressure cooker stuff. And yet again, Denis is the coolest man on the pitch.
Because it was classed as a foreign sport, because it was GAA, which is... Things have changed a little bit now because of the success of the obviously international team. But years and years ago when I was at school, it was banned from our school. It was just curling and football.
The football world must be thankful then for the existence of Cove Ramblers, where Roy developed his game.
He could be defending a corner, and split seconds he was on the other end above, giving the killer pass for the goal that would win us the youth games.
He was the only player I knew growing up that actually used to write the clubs across channel looking for trials, whereas most other people I knew were actually waiting for the scouts to come knocking on their door.
Yeah, I did write to clubs, but again, you have to, as I said, there was millions of kids, and there was only one or two writ back to me and just said, oh, well, if you're good enough, you'll be spotted. And luckily, Forrest did spot me,
Brian Clough was the first to say, well done, young man, before selling him on to United for a then record £3.75 million. His old enemies became new friends.
It was obviously awkward for me meeting him because I probably had a fight with most of them on the pitch. But that's because I was doing my best for Forrest. But no, I was on the other side and I was doing my best for United.
Nice touch again, Scholes, played early by McGrath to Roy Keane. Keeps his balance and scores. Phil Neville. Keane wants it again, and Keane has got it. Roy Keane for Manchester United, that's absolutely wonderful.
Priceless player Roy Keane proved to be, the epitome of drive and determination. A courageous captain who gave absolutely everything for United for more than a decade. Fearsome and fearless.
You don't stop to think, do you? You get paid to, literally put your life on the line, for the club, and that's what you have to do. And if the ball's there to be won, yeah. But you don't worry who's coming in to tackle,
Giggs taking on Strunz, turn him. Rob back now, it's Roy Keane, it's 1-0!
That's a fine tackle by Giggs. Bringing the initiative back from Manchester United. Roy Keane gets a second! Gary Neville, and there's Keane! 1-0 Manchester United.
Ronaldo. Back heel, Roy Keane. Still Roy Keane, great chance, Roy Keane! It's his first goal of the season. The Roy Keane, Captain Courageous, has delivered in Manchester United's moment of need.
Roy Keane was one of the most important and influential players of his generation, a fiery figure both on and off the pitch, unquestionably driven by his hunger for success and glory. His name, along with those of his fellow countrymen, are still sung heartily from the stands at Old Trafford, thanks to an island that has devoted itself to providing players and support for Manchester United.
I think for such a small nation to have had so many great players, not just good players, because you could actually nearly pick a world-beating team of Irishmen who have played for United, and when the country's only like 300 miles long from top to bottom, that is a very, very good achievement.
Lifting himself again, Gowling, Best, and there it is, George Best.
Chested down by Robson for Koppel, then Whiteside.
And here's Stapleton in a race with Bradshaw, and Frank Stapleton puts Manchester United in front. In from Gidman.